You almost ignored it. The nudge, the tightness in your chest, the restless week that felt like a quiet knock at the door. The universe just sent you an invite. Answer it, and you unlock a different life. Leave it unopened, and nothing about your daily shape changes. Open it, and the small, honest acts you take from today forward begin to build something that looks and feels new. Right now, you're standing in the space between what's comfortable and what's possible. That space is messy, loud, confusing, and charged with potential. Most people treat it like a waiting room. They sit, they scroll, they rehearse excuses. But this moment is not a waiting room. It's an orientation. It's a call to move from passive hope to deliberate choice. You are not late. You are exactly here, and that matters. Look at what's been happening in your life lately. Things you keep putting off, decisions you avoid, conversations you postpone. There's a pattern of waiting for the right time, for signs, for signals that somebody else will do the choosing for you. That patience once served you. It protected you from rash moves. It bought time to learn. But lately it has calcified into hesitation. Indecision eats energy. It lowers your baseline. It makes small tasks feel monumental. You think you're being cautious. Actually, you're shrinking. You're giving your life to the default. There is a tenderness in this observation. Hesitation is not moral failure. It's a survival habit that outlived its usefulness. The exhaustion you feel is not a punishment, it's feedback. Your restlessness is a signal your system gives you when your potential is being ignored. The good news is that signal is also an invitation to choose. That invitation is what I'm calling the call. Answering it changes the grammar of your days. If this is landing for you, save this video and comment one honest step you'll take today. I'll wait here while you decide which small move you'll make. Now let's translate the cosmic grammar into human terms. Think of Saturn and Aries as actors in a play about your life. Saturn carries weight. Saturn is the careful hand, the long game, the architecture of reality, its structure, boundaries, rhythm, and the patient insistence on finishing what is started. Aries is fire. Aries is the first breath before you run. The muscle tension in your shoulders when you decide to show up, the urge that says, start, and now. Nas Ulna, when Saturn moves into Aries, what you get is discipline meeting initiation, structure meets drive, the long haul meets the quick blaze. That meeting rewires how your decisions feel. Where you used to wait for permission, you begin to practice choosing. Where you tolerated blurry boundaries, you find your tolerance thinning. Where you deferred your voice, you feel the itch to be seen. It isn't fate telling you what must happen. It's a framework that favors small, decisive action over endless planning. It rewards momentum. It rewards deciding. The transit does not hand you outcomes. It shifts gravity so movement is easier than stagnation. You become the sign. In practical life, this looks simple and bodily. Your body is the first place the change appears. Your posture is a message you send to yourself and the world. When you straighten your back, you set a chemical tone. Your lungs open, your shoulders drop. Your threshold for taking initiative rises. A 30-second posture reset. Sit tall, plant both feet on the ground, draw your shoulders slightly back. Reshapes your mind more than you expect. Movement rewires momentum. Walk for 5 minutes without your phone. Walk with intention. Feel your feet. Let your breath lengthen. Notice how clarity arrives with motion. Clean a single corner of your space. One shelf, one drawer. That act of decluttering is a vote for the future you want. Start with one honest physical step in the next 24 hours. Take a 5-minute walk without distractions. That's it. No manifesto, no huge plan. 5 minutes. Make the walk purposeful. Breathe, notice, and at the end of it, name one thing you will do differently tomorrow because of what you noticed. Write that thing down. Put it somewhere visible. This is how momentum begins. Small, repeatable acts that add weight to your intentions. It's not dramatic. It's faithful. Anger will probably show up during this process. Don't be alarmed. Anger is information. Think of it as your internal GPS telling you where lines have been crossed. It isn't evil. It's not a moral failing. When you get angry, notice where it points. At an expectation unmet, at a boundary blurred, at a role you have been playing that no longer fits. Let anger inform you, not control you. Use it as clarity. Here's a practical boundary script you can use the next time something drains you. Say, "I can't do that right now. I'm focusing on something important." Or, when a request keeps coming and you feel obligated, try, "I won't be able to take that on, but I appreciate you thinking of me." Short, clear, true. No need for long explanations. Boundaries do not have to hurt to be honest. They are a form of respect for your time, for your energy, for your future self. When you practice them, you create room for new things. You will feel a strange relief, like a pair of shoes taken off after a long day. Discipline here is not a punitive grind. Discipline is devotion. Reframe it that way. Discipline becomes what you do for the person you will be tomorrow. It's not punishment, it's an agreement. When you show up for a 5-minute walk, when you clear one drawer, when you close one relationship chapter that keeps you small, you are not denying yourself pleasure. You are investing in capacity. You are making a small deposit into your future bank account of momentum. Over time, those tiny deposits compound. They do not guarantee fame, riches, or instant breakthroughs. They guarantee shape. They guarantee a life that responds differently to your choices. You might be worried this requires radical change overnight. You can relax. The point is consistent present tense choosing. Start with rhythms you can sustain. Pick one habit that fits into an existing part of your day. After coffee, 5 minutes of standing with good posture. Before sleep, a short note about what you did that day that felt honest. At lunch, a walk without your phone. These tiny rituals anchor new identity. Identity is not invented in a single crisis. It consolidates in small acts, repeated until the body remembers. Letting go is part of the work. There are roles that served you once, caretaker, people-pleaser, invisible genius, that now weigh you down. You do not need to perform those selves to prove your value. Releasing them might be awkward, even scary, but it is necessary. When you let go of an old identity, you create space for a new one to grow. Think of it like pruning a tree. You cut away dead branches, so the sap goes to the parts that can flourish. Here's an example from someone like you. A few weeks ago, a viewer wrote in, "I've been waiting for permission to leave a job that feels safe but wrong. I cleared my desk, walked for 5 minutes every day, and said no to one extra weekend shift. I didn't have a plan to replace the job. I only started to move my body and my boundaries. After a month, I had clearer priorities, less anxiety, and the courage to apply for something that fit." That comment isn't a guarantee. It's a pattern. Small moves, clearer identity, better choices. That's the engine of transformation. You don't need a perfect moment to begin. You need a beginning. There will be friction. Accept it. Friction is not punishment. It is an evolutionary signal. It means something is trying to change. When you press into friction with curiosity instead of shame, you learn where the resistance lives. In your fear of failure, in your need to be liked, in your habit of rationalizing. Naming the friction deflates its power. You will still feel discomfort. You will still have days when you don't follow through. The key is that you return. You keep choosing. Imagine what a different life looks like in tangible terms. It's not a movie montage of instant success. It is waking up with a clearer edge. It is fewer hours spent caught in indecision. It is a handful of relationships that respect your boundaries. It is waking up to work that aligns with your values, or making space to discover what that work looks like. It is feeling legitimate when you claim space in a room. It is not being exhausted by minor interactions because you have learned to say no with grace. These are interior shifts with exterior consequences. They don't happen overnight, but they compound fast when you feed them simple, consistent actions. There's a moment in every story where the cost of staying small becomes more visible than the cost of changing. Maybe your body hurts more. Maybe your patience wears thinner. Maybe your calendar is crowded with things that look important but aren't yours. When that tipping point comes, your choice is clearer. Keep shrinking into safety or take ownership. Owning your life means making a small, honest commitment today and defending it with the tenderness of practice. If you're wondering how to begin that defense, pick one thing you can do today that is visible and physical. Clean one drawer. Send one message that sets a boundary. Take a 5-minute walk and write one sentence about what you want to stop tolerating. Posture, movement, clarity, these are your tools. Use them. They are cheap and available. They are immediate and human. They change your nervous system. They change your voice. They change the way people respond to you. Accountability matters. Tell one person what you've decided to change, not because you need permission, but because the act of naming it makes it real. Choose someone who will hold you kindly, not a judge, not a cheerleader who enables you to avoid hard things, but someone who respects your capacity to choose. We are social animals. External mirrors help internalize new patterns. As you start to move, watch how your relationship with anger changes. It becomes less explosive and more informative. You learn to track it back to a boundary that needs asserting. You learn to use a short phrase to reclaim your space. I can't take that on right now. Repeat it. It's a muscle. It gets stronger. Your anger will remain an ally, not a dictator. There is one test that often reveals whether you are unlocking a different life. Where do you invest your attention? If most of it drifts toward other people's expectations, toward the news cycle, toward curated lives that say you must be a certain thing, then your energy is being spent on other people's narratives. Reorient attention to one place, your next honest action. Make that your small daily liturgy. Over time, this creates a new habit architecture, a scaffolding for identity. Remember, this is not a promise of instant change. Saturn in Aries does not hand you miracles. It hands you a set of conditions that favor durability. The promise you can make to yourself is modest and true. Show up for the 5-minute practice you chose. Defend your boundaries in one small interaction. Move your body when you feel stuck. Over months, those acts become a new you. They change your default. They change your posture in conversations and boardrooms. They make you someone who chooses rather than someone who waits. Ask yourself right now, what is the smallest, bravest thing you can do within the next 24 hours that would make you feel like you answered the call? Not a grand gesture, a micro-commitment, a 5-minute practice, a short, honest text that sets a line. Make it as specific as possible. I will walk for 5 minutes at lunch and write one sentence about what I noticed. Or I will tell my colleague I can't take the extra task and offer a different timeline. The specificity anchors action. Vague intentions float. Specific acts land. This work will test you. It will ask for perseverance. That's Saturn's role, to stretch your capacity for commitment. Aries gives you the courage to start. The interplay asks you to choose daily. Discipline emerges not from rigidity, but from repeated choosing. Devotion is not a grand vow. It is showing up to the small promises you make to yourself. That is how a different life is unlocked. Let me be clear. This is not about becoming someone who never rests or who never errs. This is about presence and integrity. You will slow down when needed. You will course correct. The difference is that your corrections are deliberate rather than reactive. You become the author of the storyline rather than a passenger in a ride you didn't choose. There will be moments when you are tempted to return to the safety of waiting. You will tell yourself stories that justify inactivity. I don't have enough information. I need to be better prepared. I'll do it after this season. Those stories are familiar. They are soft prisons. When you notice them, thank them for trying to protect you and then take a small step anyway. Movement educates your nervous system faster than thinking. That 5-minute walk will teach you more than an hour of analysis. Think about the compound interest of momentum. A 5-minute walk becomes a daily ritual. The daily ritual becomes a habit. The habit composes a week. The week turns into a month. The month clarifies your identity. This is not mysticism. It's simply the arithmetic of consistent action. Momentum begets momentum. It rewards movement. It rewards momentum. It rewards choosing. If you need a practical sequence to begin tonight, here is one you can follow. Decide on your one micro-commitment for the next day. Put a physical note where you will see it in the morning. Set a 5-minute window in your calendar titled, with the action, 5-min walk or clear draw. Tell one person what you're doing. When you feel the first wave of resistance, label it as friction and proceed with curiosity. After the action, write one sentence about what changed. Repeat the next day. That sequence is tiny but potent. As you practice, celebrate the small wins, not with grand rewards, but with quiet acknowledgement. A nod, a moment of breath, a 2-sentence journal note that says, I showed up. These tiny recognitions seed the internal reward circuitry that encourages you to continue. You are training a muscle, the muscle of choosing. Now imagine 3 months from now, if you had consistently chosen one micro-action each day. It will not look like a fairy tale. It will look like increased clarity, fewer draining obligations, and more visible steps toward what you want. It will look like you standing in rooms with a steadier posture, speaking in shorter, clearer sentences, and making decisions without the old paralysis. That difference matters. That difference is what unlocking a different life looks like. The most human piece of this is that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to return. Every time you choose again, you strengthen the pattern. The habit you form is not one of perfection, but of faithful return. Saturn rewards that return. Aries gives you the courage to start again each day. So here is the direct challenge. Choose yourself right now. Choose one small, honest thing. Write it down. Do it within 24 hours. It can be as simple as a 5-minute walk, a posture reset, clearing one drawer, or saying, I can't, to one request that isn't yours. Choose an act that costs you something, even just the discomfort of being assertive, because cost creates commitment. Then protect that commitment like a tender garden. Water it with small, steady practices. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly at the edge where choice matters. This is not an ultimatum. It's an opportunity. Answer the call, and you begin to unlock a different life. Quieter, stronger, truer to who you are becoming. The world will notice, not because you shout louder, but because you stand differently. If this resonated, share it with someone who needs permission to choose themselves and follow for more practical transit guidance. Tell us in the comments what your one honest step will be today. Make it plain, make it small, make it true. Do this and watch how the small things align around you. Do this and let momentum do its work. You don't need a miracle. You need a practice. Unlock a different life by answering the call. Start now.